A little bit of disregard, handful of complaints, but I can't help the fact that everyone can see these scars. I am what I want you to want, what I want you to feel. But it's like no matter what I do, I can't convince you to just believe this is real. So let go, watching you turn your back like you always do. Face away and pretend that I'm not, but I'll be here cause you're all that I got. I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn your back on me, I won't be ignored. Time won't change this damage anymore. Don't turn your back on me, I won't be ignored. I'm a little bit insecure, a little unconfident, cause you don't understand to do what I can, but sometimes I don't make sense. I am what you never want to say, but I've never had a doubt. It's like no matter what I do, I can't convince you for once just to hear me out. So let go, watching you turn your back like you always do. Face away and pretend that I'm not, but I'll be here cause you're all that I got. I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn your back on me, I won't be ignored. Time won't change this damage anymore. Don't turn your back on me, I won't be ignored. No, hear me out now. You're gonna listen to me like it or not. Right now, hear me out now. You're gonna listen to me like it or not. Right now.
Welcome back to another episode of Lakeshow's Finest Redux. I'm your host, Charles Ryan, KB24 status, or yours truly, the biggest Lakers fan in the world. As you may have noticed, I've cut back on the videos due to simply that they're not getting views for some reason. But that's in the past. We are slowly doing them this year. Last night's game versus the man, that was a tough game. When we played the Heat and we came so close and we performed so poorly, we really did. I can't believe we almost won that game. And LeBron complaining at the end. Like, he's mad that Caruso took a 2 when he's in transition. LeBron could have easily taken the shot, possibly drawn a foul. Who knows? LeBron's got to stop passing the ball up because LeBron is so capable. And it should be on his shoulders. His shoulders. If the Lakers are going to win or not. Especially when obviously you got AD out, Anthony Davis out for a month. So, but yeah, last night, it's strange to see that we're playing a rematch of the finals, and the Heat are just terrible. They were the 10th or 11th seed or 12th seed at the time as of last night. And because the East is so tight, now they're up a little bit. But you can't be criticizing your players like that. You just can't. You can't. Because you're the best player in the world. You have to take the shot. We all remember that All-Star game when LeBron didn't take the final shot and Kobe got in his ass. Kobe really was upset with him. LeBron's got to do that. He's got to take the load. These are important games. They're super important. And we're very fortunate that the All-Star break is coming up and that gives more time for AD to heal. But we are a team that has firepower, and the Schroeder thing is really unfortunate. It's still very strange to me that these players aren't getting their own vaccines, and they're in their own respective states. In Los Angeles has a surplus of these vaccines, and Schroeder could have used them. In California, obviously. These other places are still sticking with the old person line, like Florida and all that. But we are at a point where we can't rely on players that aren't around, so we need LeBron to step up. And LeBron literally said yesterday that he needs to adjust without Anthony Davis, which how many times has that happened before? I'm not criticizing LeBron on it's just weird. Like, he says the things the media wants to hear and create stories, which is fine. But that's how it really felt. He needs to adjust, and he has to. But, yeah, just last night was weird. Just a strange game. And we're going to go over the stats really fast. So, of course, we lost by 2 points. And the final score was 96-94. Man, that last second deflection by LeBron to push up was really awesome. But yeah, and it's not when you miss 32 threes we missed. That's a problem. It's one thing if you miss 32 threes, but you make 20 threes. But 13, we've plummeted on a 3-point percentage towards the end of this year, and we're better than that. We are. We're a team that relies on that, but we don't when we have the bigs down low. But when they're wide open threes, that's where it just doesn't make sense. Wide open. And Wesley Matthews was really upset with himself the whole entire game. LeBron was 1 for 8 from 3 for 12%. So we'll come around. But Kuz looked great, kind of slowly disappeared, but that hand thing was hilarious, to be honest. The guy is kicking butt and there's blood all over the court. I've never seen that before, where the blood is constantly spilling across the court and the guy has to, like, spot by spot, get it, clean it off the guy, on the baseline. I've never seen that, but yeah. Kuzma, he took a lot of shots. He took as many shots as LeBron did. And, oh, my God. LeBron and Kuzma took 21 shots each. But when Rachel Nichols, she's very good at her job. But when she creates these reports like Kyle Kuzma standing like a zombie in the corner, it's like, that's completely ridiculous. It's situational. How many times have we watched LeBron James on the Heat and he has teammates standing in the corner like zombies some games? But that's not what it is. She's making it out bigger than it is because she has to, but the guy scored 23 points. He shot 8 for 21, faded away, but I like it. I like that he took 21 shots. I do. He shot better percentage than LeBron, 38. It's not great, obviously, but he was 4 for 11 from 3, which is 36%. That's decent. In the NBA, when you shoot 36 from 3, you just think about it. If you make 2 more out of 100, that can go up to 38. So it's like, it's fine. But man, did we take way too many threes. Give the guy to Alex Caruso in the final shot, the guy who has 0 points all night. But I don't know what happened. Marc Gasol played solid. I love it how LeBron gets mad at him every single time that DeAndre Jordan had a dunk or something like that. I'm sorry, not DeAndre Jordan. Every single time Bam Adebayo had a dunk. Reminds me of Tristan Thompson when LeBron would get furious with Tristan Thompson on the Cavs. But yeah, so he was 2 for 6. 6 points. 1 turnover, 2 blocks. 1 steal. 0 steals, 3 assists, and 5 rebounds. KCP, 3 for 5 for 11 points. All 5 of his shots were threes. KCP's got to shoot more, man. KCP is pretty good at creating his own shot. He's on the floor a lot. He gets on the floor. When there's a screen, he likes to sell it and fall down. And I get worried sometimes, like Isaiah Thomas. When Isaiah Thomas would constantly fall on the floor just for contact and fouls, over time that really screwed up Isaiah Thompson there. And every other game, KCP doesn't tweak an ankle, but he comes up a little gimpish a little bit. Just got to be careful, but he needs to be more aggressive. The Wes Matthews start the past couple games is really interesting. He didn't play terribly, but he just opened 3-point attempts. And when Marc Gasol made that 3-pointer at the end of the first half, and Wes Matthews was mad at himself because he should have made the one before. And that's great, holding himself accountable. But 4 for 10 is not terrible. 2 for 7 from 3, got to work on it. But he did other things, Wes Matthews. 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. for 10 points. Caruso, like I said, 0 points. Talen's got to take more than 3 shots. He only played 17 minutes. I don't care if Talen Horton-Tucker is 2 for 12, like that one guy on the Heat. What was his name? I forgot his name. Vincent, or it was Max Strauss. He played 12 minutes, was 1 for 9 from the field, 0 for 8 for 3. Obviously, Talen has a better skill set than that. And if you're going to let a guy named Strauss, I've never really heard of him taking 9 shots and play 5 less minutes than Talen. Talen's got to take more than 3. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter. And, oh man, if Caruso didn't get that technical foul, things would be different. You can always say things will be different. But, man. Montrez played well. He was 7 for 12 from the field. 18 points, 1 turnover, 2 steals, 1 assist, and 10 rebounds. So 18 and 10. And Markieff, man. Markieff's got to come around. He does. He just has to. Most of his shots are wide open, and he only took 3 shots. These are practice shots. Nobody's in the building. There's no crowd around you screaming. There's nothing that could possibly take you off. He has his feet set almost every time. These are set shots. Gotta make them, period. His brother's making him look pretty bad right now. Markieff has been playing really well. Of course, Kawhi and PG were out, but still. Kendrick Nunn played almost 40 minutes. He had 27 points. I have Kendrick Nunn in fantasy, so I like what I'm seeing. It's clear that he's just taken over the point guard spot. You can bring in Dragic and Nunn can come off the bench again, but he's Kendrick Nunn. You got to give this guy props for showing up. He recently returned from being out a couple weeks ago, and he's showing up. Duncan Robinson, 11 points. Fouled out. He fouled out on elbow. Man, when he elbowed that guy, when he elbowed KCP towards the end, and the announcers are talking about flagrant foul, it's like, that happens all the time, elbows flying. My goodness. I think that was Jeff Van Gundy talking about that. But yeah, Duncan at 11 points, 3 for 8 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3. Both of them, it just reminded me of the playoffs, man. The finals, when you got Duncan Robinson shooting 3 for 8 and Tyler Hero shooting 2 for 5. Arguably, they're 2 sharpshooters. Combined, they were 5 for 13. They only made 2 threes. Very reminiscent of the finals, then disappearing. And yeah, Tyler Hero only got 13 minutes. I don't know why. Tyler Hero, man, he can shoot. So Spoelstra was really heavy on the minutes, and the only guy that got the most minutes off the bench was the dinosaur Andre Iguodala to specifically guard LeBron James, because of course they've been going at it each other for 7 years, back and forth. So yeah, Duncan didn't play great. Bam, this is not the Bam that we saw in the NBA Finals. It's clear this is the regular season. Bam is a regular season guy. For some, I don't know. 8 for 16 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. Kelly Olynyk 1 for 5. Kelly Olynyk is one of the most on and off players I've ever seen. Hot and cold guys. I mean, Kelly Olynyk's really capable. Like the same way Duncan is, Tyler Hero is, Andre Iguodala is, Dragic is, but they don't show up all the time. And the Heat need that. But this game they did. And I really think, God, there's some storylines that come out of the media that are kind of contradictory or just obviously for clicks. However, let me tell you something. They meant it when after the game it was very important for them to defeat the defending champions, to get some motivation going since they're behind. And we could have squashed that. We really could have. But it is what it is. And I'm sure next time we play them, we're going to have Anthony Davis, and hopefully it'll be a different story. But they played players I've just never heard of. Precious Achua, is that how you pronounce his name? Hopefully. I've never, ever heard of him. Gabe Vincent, Struss I brought up, never really heard of them. So they got injuries, man. Avery, Dragic. I don't understand how you play Max Strus and Gabe Vincent over Maurice Harkless, who's not great, but he can defend. He can get to the basket. So, yeah. UD Haslam, he's not going to play. But they got guys I never heard of, and that's a problem for sure. So let's talk about the future. We have about 7 games left, I want to say. When I broke down last podcast / YouTube video how many games they had left, I basically said they were going to win like 90% of the games, and that was when we knew AD would be back soon. Things have changed, obviously, but this All-Star break will be much needed for them for sure. They have 6 games left. Wizards, Jazz, Blazers, Warriors, Suns, and Kings. Those are going to be all really difficult games. Not just because AD's out, but when LeBron goes out of the game and you got Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook just kicking ass, really, that is going to be an issue. Because our defense hasn't been great lately. And then the Jazz, that's going to be a really tough game. We're at the Jazz, who are letting fans in. I don't know the capacity, but those Jazz fans are rowdy, and it won't make a difference, I don't think. But it is interesting. Excuse me. Sorry about that. It is different when you're going from a bunch of games with 0 fans to some fans, for sure. In my mind, I think it is. That could be a fallacy, but these guys are trained to tune out the fans. It's completely different. Because the last time we played a team that had fans, which I forgot where it was, they had that fight with those fans on the sidelines. Was that versus the Heat, actually? Hold on. Sorry, that was the Hawks. I got a little bit confused there. Yeah. So there's those differences. This Blazers game's going to be tough. There's a possibility CJ McCollum could be back. I don't think he will be. I truly think CJ will be out until the All-Star break because the Blazers are maintaining their spot at like the 4 seed, I think. And then we play the Warriors, and the Warriors are coming around, man. They really are. Only because Draymond Green is coming around. That's pretty much it, I think. I don't know if that rookie's out. Andrew Wiseman, I think his name is. Yeah, and we play the Suns. This is the thing. We have a history of beating the Suns and not being the Suns in the past few years in stupid situations. The Nick Young fight with Alex Len 2 seasons ago when we got crushed by them. They were the worst team in the conference. So we have to defeat the Suns. We do. And we play them. It goes Suns, Kings. What's nice, this is what's nice, is of these 6 games, 2 are on the road, Utah and Sacramento. So those are short trips. No big deal. We got that long road trip out of the way where we went 5-2. But that is a very fortunate thing, for sure. I'm sure these guys go through much more protocol on the road. How could they not? But yeah, so after the Warriors, the Suns, and then the Kings, and I'm just worried. I didn't think the Lakers were in trouble, but I do think they're in trouble now that Schroeder's out. It looks like Schroeder's going to miss, of course, tomorrow. But Wednesday, it's possible to see him back for sure. But yeah, it's just really, I don't understand why you can't get 450 guys vaccinated. And the states make their own things, and the federal government can give them advice, but they can't do a federal mandate. They can't, and it's just strange. It's strange. It really is. So yeah, these 6 games, I do think the Lakers will go at best 4-2. At best. That's the optimistic side of me. The pessimistic side of me says 3-3. But it's going to be tough, because if we go, even if we go 4-2, there's a chance we can drop. We're tied right now in the 2nd seed with the Clippers. There's a chance we could drop to the 5 or 6 seed. This always happens early, where it's a log jam. But I haven't seen a log jam like this in a while, where literally us tied for the 2nd seed and the 6th seed, just like 4 games apart. But then when you go to the Eastern Conference, like the 3rd seed Bucks are 3 games back, and then the 11th seed Hawks are 7.5 games back. So yeah, I'm worried. Just we're very fortunate at the All-Star break, like I said. Once again, this is Lakeshow's finest, KB24 status. Warrior is truly the biggest Lakers fan in the world. I really appreciate whoever's listening. Have a good one. Stay safe. And let's get this dub tomorrow against the Wizards. Take care. Bye.